Morning, class.
Morning, sir.
Morning, teacher.
Hello, teacher.
The subject will be business communication. Take a look at this picture. What does this tell you?
A circle? So I'm gonna understand that. It's a circle.
It's a stop sign. It
That doesn't
communicates.
make any sense. I don't get it.
It
What does it have to do with communication?
tells you something. What is communication? It's simply transferring information from one place, person, or group to another.
Sir, I feel away. I don't understand. I feel away.
Samir?
I don't understand what you say, sir.
Miss Samir? No. What does this tell you? When you go into a building, what does this tell you? Don't smoke. As a result, you don't smoke. It communicates with you. Let us take a look at the slides on my screen.
What you say? What you say, Nashan?
Me dey watch what go on, cause me not understand what I say. All him a teach me can't understand.
Let us take a look at the
Hello? Boy, girl, me say, listen, me there in a one class, Mr. Fox just boring. The man just boring, the man, me ask the man what is the man can't even tell you. Boy, I'm boring, sir. Jesus, I waste me time. No, make no sense.
Let us take a look at my slide.
Not true. I feel go on Google and something learn this stuff. Because I don't know what man talk about.
These pictures are telling you something. You see a man reading a newspaper. He's transferring information to himself from the newspaper. It's communication. Now, look at the next slide.
Gonna make you feel away too. You know, she said two and Felicia having a fair ear. Felicia with the two coat.
Somebody write on my phone. Mr. Patrick.
Sorry, I have an artist in our class.
Why? Look on your slide,
Sir.
sir.
On my screen.
It's not me, sir.
Your name came up.
It's not me.
Sorry,
Neither
sir.
me, teacher.
Sorry,
Don't
sir.
write sorry, sir, on the screen. Let us move along.
Yo, you are the boss.
Yes, long time, sir. Move on.
We are
You need to show me how to do that.
Hold
Me
on.
want do it too.
Hold on, the right class, me, no? What
Yes.
one in the class?
You ever leave?
Sir Stevens,
Yes, boss.
Thank you for joining.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Yeah, man. All right, class. Cool, cool.
What time does class begin?
Bless up, yeah. God bless.
Kindly join the room quietly.
Welcome, principal.
Me fi tell you.
Someone is still marking on the Mr. Godfrey, stop doing that.
Why Godfrey a artist? I'm fi tell you. Them stick people are
Stop
nice.
encouraging him.
Sir, I know me, I'm a little brother. Stop it now. Sure.
Boss, you have a little brother?
Your brother should not be handling your device.
But sir, to we are the class money device.
That you can't tell him that, sir. Him there familiar with film phone and you there school. Sir, you can't tell Ivan that.
Hey, I disrespect that no money. Can't tell him on that.
You can't tell me not to say that.
Today, yeah, you can't touch her.
Come on, class, you can't tell me that.
I come over there right
Can't
now.
expel her, suspend her, she there yard.
You know, spare
Oh,
something.
story
Fight,
time.
fight.
When you go out of the class, lock me out, sir. Lock me out. Lock me out, sir.
We are getting nowhere in this class. You people are disrupting.
Really? You
Big
think we're
man
gonna
thing.
learn something?
Okay, tell me about disruptive.
No, man, I know the class nice.
I'm
Sir,
going
me
to
done.
tell you.
Sir, me done right from that slide here. Can I move to the next one?
Albert, play one tune for it. The class are too boring, man. Me not understand nothing.
You say you want tune?
Tune, me said tune.
Alright, I go hack it.
Yeah.
What's on I go hack it. I go hack in a Zoom and bust some tunes. See?
I give up.
Yeah.
Alright.
Why, sir, feel away, sir, man.
You wanna pass now? You wanna pass?
Oh, no, no, sir, for the class.
Sir, don't worry.
Can't manage.
Sir, go on to the wife.
Or up and robot
Jesus,
slide so you can't say me do nothing.
your wife
I
is
want to party there.
so when the principal come, no evidence not there.
Yeah. Me never do nothing. Look how you slide clean and pretty.
Rub it off.
I know me make sir feel away. Uno.
Remember said that meeting I recorded, you know?
Really?
Yeah, then can do that.
Okay,
Me never give nobody no permission to record.
Well, we not trouble.
Well, me never do
Well,
nothing.
well, I can hack up my ones. They never record my ones still.
He never give nobody permission to record. Me not tell me mother.
Sir, come back.
All right.
Are we ready now?
Sir, tune we said, sir.
Are we ready for us to learn something?
So you like Vibes Cartel?
I beg your pardon?
You listen to Vibes Cartel?
What does that have to do with our lesson?
Everything.
You're coming back to the circle again and it's not that is communication.
Please stop writing on the screen.
I don't know.
Me just tell us we're sorry, sir.
we are sorry.
Positive graffiti.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Do you people want to learn?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Of course,
sir.
I'm
But
not
we are
learn.
still listening to work. Whatever you're putting on the board, we're not getting it. Are you still not getting it?
Listen. If you would only pay attention.
You are
I
teach
can-
about
we are
communication,
teaching.
but your communication is poor.
Or you
Sir, me I drop asleep.
That low.
I will not
Listen.
Sir, my brother
agree.
class will start now, so I have to sign out of Zoom.
Class dismissed.
Sir, connection 4, sir.
Class dismissed. You may log.
Never start, sir.
Sir, feel away. I know me.
And the best thing you can do.
True. Come, Albert. Where cartel then? Let go, sir. Gone now. Make a party.
Alright. Just hold on a little bit. Let me get the tracks together.
Yeah.
We don't give a damn. From the girl them look for me, them tell me.
Ivan, when you mark it up, you know, we are seeing your name, you know.
Be
I know
like,
me, I'm a little brother.
Oh, for real, for real. So we can't read for you. Hey, trust me.
So the mixer gonna tell principal for me.
you can't call up, but you can tell principal come my father come down and come bust up in face, go talk about me this one.
Me ain't do nothing, me sorry. Never do nothing, me not confess.
I'm at the principal guy see him church.
Funny, something man go on like. Just have a little fun.
Principal owe my father some money, you know, so can't go and talk. Bono.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Mr. Forbes. What are you doing?
I am not doing well. I have a problem with that class. The business class, communication class.
That's grade 10, right?
Yeah. I don't think I'm getting through to them. I don't know what to do. They are disruptive, they are rude. I just don't know how to get through to them.
What are some of the ways that what are some of the things that they do specifically that you know?
They're constant. Students are late. The people are swearing in the class. The students are writing on the screen. It is just I just can't get through to them. I can't manage it.
All right. Well, you know, I know it's very difficult at times to teach on the online platform. I know there are many challenges, online versus face to face. All right.
You don't know the half, sir. You don't teach any class, you know, sir.
Well, I mean, I I don't teach as many as you do, but I do teach and I do have some experience with students. You know, but let me just point out something to you, and I don't want to take this as a defense or an attack. But you know, for the past month, you haven't submitted any lesson plans. All right, and
Yes, sir.
that, you know, so what's happening?
Well, everything right now is different, you know, and the time is as if we have more online classes now. So the time to properly write the lesson plan and submit them, it's kind of hard for me.
Okay, and I understand the situation because I know you have a little health issue, and you know, but you still have to remember that we have to press on. These lesson plans are very important. The vice principal and the principal, they request them, and you know, anytime an education officer can just walk in and request them from me. No, if I don't get them, they're gonna blame me, and you know, I'm gonna blame you, and that means that I'm gonna have to write you a memo. So, and not only that, you know, Mr. Forbes, when you don't write the lesson plans, it means telling me that you're not prepared for the class. For example, how do you engage these students that are not learning? What are some of the strategies that you use to bring across a lesson? Is it teacher centered? Is it student centered? You know, what are some of the strategies you're using? Are you using any manipulatives, any technology? Well, I mean, it's online, you know, but you have a lot of apps, a lot of software that can enhance the teaching and learning process. All right. Now, some problems that can be addressed, I will address them in terms of you know, students being disrespectful to you. All right. So what I want you to do is to write down. First of all, you need to ensure that the classes are being recorded, so I can have it to look at to see where students break ministry's policy. All right. So, Mr. Forbes, I know it's rough, But guess what? At the end of the day, we get a salary, and you have to give an account for the salary. All
Okay,
right?
sir.
Yes.
All right then. All
Oh,
right.
by the way, come to think of it, we having a seminar, we're having a seminar coming up, put on by the school, and this seminar is also funded by some private partners with the school, and I think this seminar would fit you. All right, it will be taking place at the Jamaica Pegasus in Kingston. It's a 2-day retreat, meaning that you'll probably stay over the night. That would probably relax you a little bit. You stay in a big hotel, and all inclusive.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So that will take the pressure off a little bit. So, and I think that seminar will help you to address some of the issues that you're facing. All right?
Okay.
Right.
All
So,
right.
Mr. Forbes, take it easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you all to this year's annual Teachers Conference. COVID could not stop us, won't stop us, will never stop us. We have an exciting seminar this afternoon as we have in our midst our guest speaker. This gentleman wears many belts. He has 20 years of experience in the education sector, has taught at his alma mater known for the learn or leave motto. Now he sits as the chairman on their board. I could go on and on and on and on, but he's no stranger to us. Please welcome Dr. Ivan Godfrey.
Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. But if you had continued any longer, there wouldn't be much more to say about me. Teachers, good afternoon. It is my honor to speak to you today. And before starting, I'd just like to know, what exactly do you expect to get from this conference?
Well, if I may, sir.
Yes.
I have been having some issues with my class.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they are respectful. In the virtual space, they have found that persons are marking up on my screen while I'm doing my presentation.
Mm-hmm.
They don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I am the one doing something wrong, or do I belong in this school? I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do.
Yes. Well, this is a question that teachers often ask themselves, and this is something that we all go through. And I thank you for your contribution, because what I actually will be speaking about today is managing the classroom effectively. And so please go to the next slide. So what I'll first look on is classroom management. And classroom management is the wide variety of skills and techniques that we as educators have to employ to keep our students focused, attentive, on task, and just all round academically productive during class. Even worse now that we're in the online space. And really and truly what it's for, it's to reduce the amount of time that is taken on non-educating activities and increase the amount that students learn from our classes. Next slide. And so if you look at the quote on your screen, it's from the Ministry of Education in Guyana. And it says that good communication is crucial for a well-run classroom. Next slide. So, for the very short basis of this presentation, we'll be looking on 3 communication techniques. And don't worry, I will be sending the slide out after for everyone's benefit. So we'll be looking on feedback, positive rapport, and active listening techniques. So the first topic that we'll be looking on is feedback. And feedback can basically be defined as compelling influence on learners' achievement. And essentially, us as teachers, we seek to open the mind of learners and to ask them what they've understood from what we've taught, and then to clear up any misconceptions. Because oftentimes what happens is that teachers teach and that's the end of it. But no, that in itself is a part of communication. It's a loop. So when you teach students, they have to in turn tell you what they've learned so that you can clear up there any misconceptions. Next slide. So the characteristics of effective feedback are: one, it improves learning, because feedback is designed to bring improvement in the learner's performance and achievement. Feedback can take so many different forms. It can be formal, it can be informal, it can be summative, it can be formative, but overall what it does is that it provides the learners with specific advice on how to improve their performance. And feedback starts with learning intentions. The process of giving feedback begins with the practitioner and the learner, and clarifying, what are the goals of the lessons, and then ensuring at the end of the lesson that the communication has been effective and the students understand what it is they are to learn. Next slide, please. So I'm going to give you some tips for giving effective feedback to learners. Firstly, you have to explain to the learners what you're focusing on and help them to understand the assessment of the lesson. Two, you have to encourage them to ask questions, and no question is stupid. Three, make regular time to discuss feedback with them. Four, advise learners that they have the opportunity to ask you questions about their assessment. Encourage learners to note down their questions so they don't have to interrupt you in the middle of the lesson.
Dr. Godfrey, just a comment.
Sure.
Yeah. On a personal level, I really endorse feedback. What I realize, that when you can engage students in responding to assignments, questions, and it makes them feel like a part of the topic.
Yes.
It makes them feel important. And also, when a student can discuss something in class, it can make them feel big up. And it motivates them to continue. So I really see how feedback is positive.
Thank you so much for your interjection. It was very timely and also very effective. Because if you think about it, the students want to be a part of the lesson. They want to show you that they have learned, and so they have to have the space and the courage to be to feel enabled to discuss with teacher what they understand about the topic, if they don't understand something, because you don't want to move on and the students haven't grasped what it is that they are to grasp. One, for the assessments, and two, later on for life. And I invite anyone to make any comments here and there. If you need any clarifications, or if you just want to, give us your feedback on, something that you've experienced in the classroom.
Dr. Godfrey, one more comment.
Yes.
Just recognize that feedback also encourages a student-centered approach to teaching. It is involving the students in the learning process. So we're shifting away from the archaic slavery style of lecturing, teacher-centered learning, to student-centered learning, which I think is the way forward. And nowadays, kids want to be heard. These kids, they just want to be heard. And sometimes just talking in class is a form of stress relief.
That is so.
And sometimes they can't even have this conversation with their peers, because all they talk about is Vibes Cartel.
It's so.
So.
Yes, because we've far gone from our time where children were seen and not heard, and we've now reached that time in the 21st century where we need students to be an active part of the teaching and learning process. Because, teaching is more than imparting knowledge and then marking an assessment. We're actually preparing the students and the children for life. And so we have to know, what are their thought processes and so on. And sometimes we actually learn from them. We actually look at something differently based on the feedback that they've given us. And that kind of is a beautiful segue into the next topic on the next slide. And that is that as educators, as facilitators, we have to have positive rapport with our students. A good teacher aims to build rapport in their classroom. And this aids in, the teaching efficacy. It aids in ensuring that our students recognize that we have their best interests at heart. According to mindtools.com, rapport is considered to be the agent that creates a meaningful, close, and harmonious relationship between people, and specifically in our instance, between the facilitator and the learner. And building rapport includes knowing and calling the students by name, especially if you're going to be with the students for a semester, a year, or so on. You should be able to learn your student's name. Not you, that one, and so on. Their first name and their last name, and they recognize at this point that you're invested in their learning. You have to make the first impression count. So once you go into class, you have to go with some level of vivacity. You have to go to class knowing that you're going to make the teaching learning process, fun for the children. You have to also take part in non-academic conversation with the students. And you also have to learn about the students instead of assuming about them. And sometimes, we sit in the staff room and we allow one set of teachers to tell us how the students are. And then we go into class with a preconceived notion of the students, which is very bad. And so we need to not use the same fat to fry everyone, as the Jamaican saying goes. And we need to try to build a relationship with our students. Next slide, please.
Can I ask a question, sir?
Yes, you may, ma'am.
We are almost at the end of one term, and this one has, so because this has already started, we've been having some challenges already. How do I start? It feels like I've started probably on the wrong foot. So how can I improve? No. How can I make this adjustment, getting to know, doing all of these things, putting them in place? Isn't it too late at this time?
No, it isn't. So if you recognize, the slide said that first impressions count. It doesn't say that first impressions are fatal. And so it is never too late to, wheel and come again. What you have to do is you have to be intentional and you have to be mindful about what you're doing. So in the very same way that you would, plan to start on a good footing, if you realize that you've misstepped, you need to plan to catch back your footing. And so whatever it is that one would have planned to start a good semester, you can start it in the middle. You can even start it in the back end. But you have to find a way to let the students recognize that, yes, you might not have started on a good footing, but you're ready to catch yourself and to improve. Because a part of building a good rapport with your students is to, sometimes you have to be, and the word is evading me, sometimes you have to be a little, show a little emotion. Let the students show a little vulnerability. So students need to recognize that you are someone who should be respected, but that respect has to be commanded and not demanded. And one of the ways that this can be done is through active listening techniques, and that is on our next slide. So active listening techniques is the ability both of the teacher and of the student to focus completely on the speaker, to understand their message, to comprehend the information, and to respond thoughtfully. So as we were saying earlier, the communication process is a loop. So once you as the teacher have completed what it is that you are imparting to the students, you as the teacher are expecting the student to completely listen and focus on you, to understand what you're teaching, to comprehend your information, but then you have to now be able to also do the same thing, to understand what the student is saying to you, to be focused on their contribution to the class and not be marking books, not be rubbing out the whiteboard while they're talking, but to be active listening, to give them respect and to earn their respect. Next slide, please. And it endures their benefit in several ways. It helps you to build connections with people. It helps you to build trust with people. It helps you to identify and solve problems. It helps you to increase your knowledge and understanding of various topics. And it helps you to avoid missing critical information. Next slide. So essentially, what you're called upon to do as a teacher is you should set behavioral expectations. Not only in the physical school setting, which we are now far removed from, but also from the virtual classroom. And you should review your expectations at the start of the class. So at the start of the class, you'd say to the students, we'll be learning X, Y, and Z. So for example, let's use communication. So students will be learning about the communication process and so on. And also speak to them about, the value of the lesson. So students, during this classroom, I expect that you're going to listen to me when I speak. When it's your turn to speak, I'm going to listen to you. We're going to have a beautiful lesson today. And I hope that you enjoy the lesson. So, you set the tone for the class, and then you use positive messages throughout and incentives to reinforce your behavioral expectations. So a lot of times we try to be, too negative. When a student misbehaves, we're there to sanction. But when they do behave correctly, we need to praise them. I'm sure we all have operant conditioning, right? When we see good behavior that we want, we praise it and we foster it. I am now at the end of my presentation. Next slide, please. These are the references that I used in creating this presentation. I invite you to go through them to get a fulsome understanding of what is really a beautiful topic and what really will be the hallmark of your career as teachers. Do you have any questions?
Presentation, it really helped me, and I take away much information from it, and honestly I'll implement them coming Monday in my classroom. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much for your comment.
If I may, on the behalf of our group, we would like to express our profound thanks for you taking time out of your schedule to impart this wealth of knowledge to us. It was timely, especially for me, because I have been having these problems, and I am sure I will have to input these in my classroom management skills in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, teachers. Thank you for having listened. Mr. Forbes, I know that if you implement, these strategies, you will see improvement in your class. It won't take a day, as the person before who asked a question or who made a comment said, sometimes we start off badly. We are human, but it's about being intentional and being mindful and knowing that, the first impression, though important, is not fatal. And we all started in this noble profession for the love of it and for the benefit of our students. And that should always be at the forefront of our mind. Thank you all so much again for listening. And I do invite another invitation from you to speak at these conferences. I enjoy them, and I'm happy to be with you here today. Thank you so much for listening.
Morning, guys. How is everybody doing today?
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Fine, sir.
How was your weekend, Miss Shaw?
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Miss Jackson?
Yes, sir.
How are you today? How was your weekend?
I'm alright. Good. Not sure if
Okay.
I want to be here, but I'm here.
Well, at the end of the day, learning will be made fun. Don't worry about it. Now, before we begin our class today, we need to establish some rules for this class. Now, we should all respect each other. We should listen to each other. I am here to listen to you, and you are here to listen to me. Okay? If we have a suggestion or a point, we'll raise our hand. Now, I have some phone credits, and the phone credit includes money for data.
What?
Okay, sir.
So, if my class members want phone credit, it's not $200. Don't worry, it's more. If my class would like some phone credit,
Excitement class today.
Yeah.
yes, be
Sir, I
cooperative.
hope the class to the
And
one.
a part of my class today will be us signing a contract. The contract for my class means that one, we respect each other. Two, we will listen to each other. Three, we will be attentive to what's being taught.
I
Because
want to add a rule, sir.
you want another rule?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
You should respect us, sir.
I
Just as
am
how
making
we
no
should
expectations.
respect you.
Not a problem. So, are we ready to learn?
Yes, sir. Be ready to learn.
Yes, sir.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
Today, our topic will be business communication.
Morning, boss.
Thank you for joining me, Mr. Stevens. You do know you just missed out on $500 credit.
Oh my word.
But you can redeem yourself. Have a seat and let's move on.
All right.
Now, for this class, we'll be talking about communication. I have a phone here. It's not as expensive as yours, Miss Bernard. I would imagine you have an iPhone. Miss Bernard,
Yes, sir.
I would imagine you have an iPhone, correct?
No, sir. My daddy take it away from me.
What did you do now? Well, that's good enough. It's a smartphone. If I was to call you, what would I be doing? That look on your face, Miss Shaw. What would I be doing if I was to dial a number to call Miss Bernard?
What would you? I didn't hear you, sir. Could you repeat that, please?
If I took my phone and called Miss Bernard, what would I be doing?
Sir, you will be communicating, sir.
Communicating. You are correct.
No, I'm getting it. No, I'm getting what you're saying, sir. Because first of all, you weren't saying anything the last time.
Not a problem. Let's move on. You just won yourself $100.
What?
Is it digital or line?
Digital, sir.
It will be sent to you after class. Now, in communication, by definition, it's passing information from one person to another. Now, if you look at my screen, you will see one of the pictures has what looks like a cigarette with a long stroke across. What does that say? Without words, it is telling you, do not smoke. And that is an example of non-verbal communication. Mr. Stevens,
Yes,
do you see
boss.
the picture of my jaw like this?
I didn't hear that, sir.
If you see me put my hand on my jaw like this, sitting down,
Yeah.
okay,
Means your wife left you.
there you go. I'm communicating without words. Are we getting the gist of communication now?
Yes, sir.
That makes
Good.
sense, sir.
Good. Now, there are four main methods of communication: verbal, written, electronic.
Sir, me not understand when you say written communication. What that mean?
Well, that's a good question. You people may be very
Sir, yeah,
young.
good.
You may be very young. So you don't remember the days when people had to write a letter to their auntie in foreign, begging
Oh, and
her.
that, sir, I never know so that called written communication. I think I went just one letter.
If
Same
you
thing
say
we
to
said too.
me, you had to write a letter to your auntie begging her $20 in an envelope between one postcard, true or false.
True.
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 And every birthday
Me,
you get it,
sir. Sir,
every birthday you get it, every Christmas you get it, which other time? Miss Samuels, Miss Wright,
sir. Sir, me write one little piece of note to Monique. A written communication to sir.
exactly. Now we are getting somewhere.
Oh my, I first me I learn in your class, sir.
And that is what learning is all about.
Real.
Every day you will learn something new. We take these things for granted. We have always been going through the motions in life. And we have not applied what we have learned in school to these.
Thank you for telling me now one different way, sir.
Mr. Stephen,
Yes,
if,
sir.
if you and your girlfriend have an argument and she cuss you, what is she doing?
Abusing me, I don't know.
Possibly. Or using verbal
Verbal
communication.
communication, yeah.
Oh, and when that, sir? I
We
first me I
cannot
know sir when that
function,
cost a verbal communication.
we cannot function in our society without communicating.
For real.
And that is what this topic is all about. And in business, if you don't communicate, business will go nowhere. The bank communicates with you. What do they send you? Your bank
Sir.
statement,
I
your
stay.
credit card, your credit card statement.
Yes.
I am doing what now? I
You're
am
communicating,
communicating.
sir.
I am imparting the information necessary for you to complete your task in class and to pass your exam. Understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now we
sir.
have an idea of what communication is. Mr. Stevens,
Alright, don't sir just say.
Yeah, sir, never hearing problem, no, sir. Talk again.
do you now have an idea of what communication is?
Yes, man, for real.
Yes,
For real.
sir.
Good.
I'm not gonna like this at first. I'm gonna actually start writing your class.
Now, for the next class,
Person feel like writing or something.
for the next class, I want persons to bring me a chart showing what they learn about communication. And the best chart will win.
Me with that.
Thank you for joining us today. And I hope you all learned something about communication.
Big
Thanks,
up yourself,
sir.
sir. Big up yourself. Big up yourself.
Okay, sir. Thank
All
you,
right,
sir.
sir.